So why should you be telling stories in a business context? Well, we're going to start by looking at narrative transportation theory, or NTT. Yeah, NTT. Oh my goodness. Now, if you haven't heard of narrative transportation theory, I'm certain that you have been transported by a story before. And so essentially this theory is just the realm of study of looking at this phenomenon and trying to get more of an understanding of what exactly is going on. So when you start a movie or when you dive into a really good book, what begins to happen is you begin to be pulled into the story. So we're going to go a little deep here. And so what's going on is we're going to be talking about two different separate realms. There is the realm that you're currently in right now, right? This current reality. And then there is the story realm, the story reality. So when you first get invested in a story, what happens is you are currently in your realm, right? You're currently wherever you are as you're getting into this story, whether you're sitting on a chair about to curl up to read a new book, or you're in a theater, or you're in your television room about to watch a film, right? But wherever you are, you're in that realm, and you begin to enter into the story world. That process, that phenomenon is called narrative transportation. You are being, as the audience member, you are being transported into the story world. And so some interesting physiological and psychological phenomena begin to happen as this takes place. What happens is you kind of feel this pull. Your world blurs, okay? The world around you starts to fade away, and it becomes basically non-existent. And what starts to fully take control over your experience is the story world. And two very interesting things happen as you transition from this current place that you once were into the world of the story, is that you begin to emotionally empathize with the characters, and your imagination begins to merge with the plot. So your imagination merges with the storyline, it merges with the plot, starts filling in details about it, and your emotions then, you start to experience the emotional experience that the main characters, or just the characters in general, are experiencing. If they are going through a very emotional moment and they experience a sense of loss, you experience that sense of loss with them. This is why you cry when you go to the movies, or you cry when you read a great book, or why you laugh, right? It's because your emotions are now invested in this story. And so this is narrative transportation. What's also very interesting about this whole immersion is that when you leave this story world, what happens is the story is still felt. You still feel that story. You still carry that experience with you as a memory, right? Like, it literally has become an experience that you have had, and it is now part of you. It has made a lasting impression on you, okay? So what's very interesting is taking that whole phenomenon and then applying that to your business, to your brand, and taking advantage of stories in order to create a similar immersive experience. Now, a company who does this extremely well, I would say that they are masters at owning and utilizing narrative transportation in their whole marketing story that they're telling, is Disney World. Disney World is not selling you the opportunity to go to a theme park. That is not what they are selling you. What they are doing, you will watch it with all of their marketing material and the experience of being in the park, is they are inviting you to come on a journey. They are inviting you to come be part of this magic. And when you're there, you're never just at a theme park. You are immersed in the story of Disney World itself. It's as if you are under the Disney spell, right? And you are experiencing this whole world. You have been transported not to Orlando, but you have been transported to a just magical place where all your dreams can come true.
This place is awesome. It's like you're in the Star Wars galaxy. Oh my God.
because it's never just a theme park. It's not like you're going to Six Flags, right? You're not just going to Disney World for a roller coaster. You're going to Disney World for the immersion. That's what it is all about, right? So that is a company effectively utilizing narrative transportation, right? And so essentially what you're doing is you're leveraging storytelling to create attitudinal change, to inspire action, and raise their perceived sense of the value. If you just straight up walk up to Disney World, right, strip everything away, it is nothing more than a mediocre theme park. No offense to any Disney fanatics, okay? But the rides aren't that amazing, right? But it is honestly the absolute best theme park in the entire world because they are adding that story component. On the surface, it's just a mediocre theme park, but that layer of story elevates it and transcends it to one of the most valuable vacation experiences your entire family can have. So what is happening in that situation is by utilizing story and by leveraging story, Disney World is doing something extremely interesting. What they're doing is they are enhancing the perceived value of the park. They're actually raising the value of the park. They're raising the value of the experience that you're having at their park by adding that layer of storytelling to it. They're also changing your attitudes about it. Instead of this being a boring place where you are suffering for 2 straight hours in line for a ride, you are you're not stoked about waiting in line for a ride, but the way that they even design their lines and the wait time continues that storytelling, so that way you're not really noticing it, right? You would still wait in that line for 2 hours just to ride this mediocre ride because it is more than just the mediocre ride. It's about the entire experience, right? So they're raising your attitude. You're not thinking about how terrible it is to wait in line. You're just excited to be there, right? And you're believing that this is such an immensely awesome place, okay? So it's impacting your beliefs and it's inspiring you. Right? Like you're so inspired by their marketing that you go to it, right? And it leaves this lasting impression because when you leave, you carry this experience with you. You carry this sense that you just did something that was way different than just going to a normal theme park. Like you literally believe that you just had a magical experience, okay? So that's what storytelling does. So essentially, what is going on is that because you're adding in a storytelling, you're injecting a soul into your entire experience. It's like that is what the story does. It adds this whole other layer of meaning to your brand. And it adds this whole other layer of meaning to your experience. It's not that we're manipulating people's perspective and we're tricking them to seeing something that's not there. What you're really doing is you're pulling the meaning of your brand to the surface and you're drawing that out so that way you are painting your brand with this deeper meaning, with this myth, okay? So that's narrative transportation. So there you go. Start utilizing storytelling because storytelling, when done well and when done properly, can add tremendous, tremendous value to your organization as well as to your audience. Take care.